Hey guys, this is Eli, and welcome back to another episode of Eli's Kingdom. And yep, you've guessed it, today is Epic Timelapse Day. I really hope you guys are excited for this one. I have had some really nice messages over the past week or so just saying, where is it? Where's the episode? Hurry up, hurry up. And yeah, I do apologize that it has taken quite some time to get this out. I've honestly been working really hard at it. I think it's taken about 3 weeks just to get it completely finished. And, you know, a lot of that was just recording, doing some special effects and things, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out, so hopefully you guys are going to be enjoying this as well, but we will be getting onto that later on in the episode. Now, just to discuss the plans for what we're going to be doing today, I mean, you've probably already seen the thumbnail, so you've guessed what we're going to do, is we're going to be building a windmill. Now, just a few episodes ago, we built the prison. It's actually our prison villager trading center, and inside we have a bunch of villagers that are ready to trade for, you know, all of our junk so they can give us emeralds, and then we can produce some useful items from them. But at the moment, we don't really have anything to trade with them. I mean, they need things like sugar cane, they need wheat, they need pumpkins, they need watermelons, all sorts of goodies that we can produce from automatic farms, but at the moment, we don't have anything at all. So that's something that we need to start thinking about, is we need to start producing a couple automatic farms so we can generate items and, you know, use our new sewer line underneath to actually ship the items into this area. I think we'll probably build a couple storage silos on the inside just to store those items, so they're pretty handy for just accessing if we need to do the trading. Now, the first one I wanted to do was obviously a wheat farm, because wheat is kind of the simplest, most basic kind of trading thing. It's, you know, it's the food source, you can make bread. It's a really fun one to build. If you haven't built an automatic wheat farm before, it can be fun, and you do have to work with villagers as well. Now, in order to design this, I mean, I don't mean the redstone behind it, I mean the actual design of the you know, what the farm's going to look like. I was trying to come up with some really cool concepts of what we can do, and of course, like with the prison, we decided a trading center is going to turn into a prison because we need the villagers to be held in one spot, so a prison seemed logical for that. Now, I think for a wheat farm, I wanted to do it in the style of a windmill, because I don't mean like one of these windmills that, you know, the modern ones that generate electricity. I mean the old-fashioned windmills that I'm pretty sure they were used to grind down wheat into flour. I think that's what they were used for. You don't really see too many of them these days, but they are really nice structures. If you go somewhere like Amsterdam or even somewhere like San Francisco, I think they have two giant windmills right on the coast of San Francisco, which is really nice to see. But we're going to be doing a windmill in that kind of style, and then on the inside we'll have our wheat farm. We'll have a villager who's running around, he's plucking all the wheat out, and, you know, we'll probably do a minecart underneath that's actually collecting that. I know you can do wheat farms with water, and you can, you know, flush all the wheat out. It's probably more efficient to use water, but I just prefer using minecarts. So, you know, I think hopper minecarts are really fun to play with, so I really want to do that design. Now, the location for where we're going to do this, I was actually going around the kingdom marking out some slime chunks, because I figured if we're going to do this wheat farm on the top, we could potentially build a super chunk. Now, if you haven't heard what super chunk is, I don't know who first coined it. I think I first heard it from Impulse SV. I don't know if he coined it or if somebody else did, but basically a super chunk is a chunk where you place a bunch of different farms in. So you can have your wheat farm, you have your melon farm, pumpkin farm, your slime farm at the very bottom, and you do it all within a 16 by 16 area. And that way, whenever that chunk is loaded, you have all of the farms loaded, and, you know, you're just basically maximizing productivity. So we could potentially do that. I don't know if we will or not, but it would be nice to have the option. So I went around marking out these slime chunks, and, you know, we have one just here. We have the four corners, and I mean, this is a really nice location, but I think it's maybe a bit too close to things, because the windmill I want to build is pretty huge, and I mean, it's going to be taller than our castle, so I think we need to push it back a bit. This is a bit too close, and we do have a lot of space to play within the kingdom. You know, the kingdom stretches all the way over to this area where you can just about make out the swamp off in the distance, and we do have the quad witch huts in the swamp, so we are going to be building over there eventually. I mean, we have tons of room over here. We've got our village off in this direction. We have a nice forest over there. I think that's a birch forest. And then we do have our mountains up here. We have plenty of space around here. So just going around looking for the different slime chunks and marking them out. There's actually a double slime chunk just over here. And I mean, a double one would be really cool. We'd obviously be getting twice as many slimes. The only problem is it's right next to the mountain, and I think it was just a bit too close. So, you know, if we are going to be doing a windmill, we're going to have the big turbine at the top, and I think it would just be too close to this. Now, there is one at the very back over here, and to be honest, I just fell in love with this spot. It's right in the center of this plain. It's further enough back that we can build a really big structure and, you know, it's not going to look too overpowering. And it's far enough away from the mountain. I just think this one is going to be perfect. So this is the location I've chosen to build our windmill. It does use quite a lot of resources. We are going to need some stained clay. We're going to need some spruce wood. We're going to need quite a lot of white wool as well for the sails. And white wool is something that I don't really have. I think we're going to have to go around and gather some of the sheep because I have seen a few white sheep just hanging around from probably when we let them free way back in episode 3 or 4 or something. We had a bunch of white sheep that we just let out. So I'm going to go gather these guys. We're going to go try and trap them in a fence somewhere and start breeding them up and basically just start gathering some of the white wool. So I've just put together a very simple pen structure here. I think we're going to do these long strips. And what it means is we can just run left to right and we can shear the sheep. The wool should fall into the center and get picked up by these hoppers, delivered into this chest. And I think the sheep can still eat the grass on the side, so hopefully this will work. Now we are going to need a lot more than 2 sheep because I think in order to build the sails for this windmill, I think we're going to need close to 300 to 400 wool. It's going to be quite a lot. So yeah, we're going to need a few more than 2. I think we'll build a couple more of these pens, just dot them around this area, and hopefully that should be enough. Oh, how is it we're playing Minecraft 1.12 and Mojang still haven't fixed ghost blocks? Oh, we're not even playing on a server as well. This is single player. Oh, must get out of this hole. Oh, no, I don't know what to do. I can't get out. So the sheep pens are pretty much on the way. All we need to do now is just breed up these guys and begin shearing them. The other stuff we needed was the spruce log, so I've just popped down a couple of these spruce saplings to start growing these guys. Should be easy enough to do. And then I think the final thing we got to do is generate all the stained clay, although I believe it's now called stained terracotta or something. I think they changed the name in Minecraft 1.12. The colors we're going to use for the windmill they're going to be white, orange, and pink. Now, I know that sounds a bit like a weird combo for a windmill, but trust me, it really does work. It looks amazing. For the most part, it's going to be white and orange. The pink is more of an accent color, and actually the white is kind of a pinkish white, you know, when you see it. So it should be really nice, because so far, all we've done so far in the kingdom is just build a lot of gray structures, and you know, it kind of had to be gray. We had the aqueduct, which kind of needed to be stone. We had the castle, which has obviously got to be stone. We had the prison, which needed to be very gray and look very dreary. So I really do want to do more color in the kingdom. You know, we need to do a lot more wood structures, a lot more stained clay, and of course we've got the new concrete blocks now. We can start using those. Probably hold off using concrete for a while because you know, some of the mods aren't working yet for 1.12, so probably won't do any building with that just yet. But I think to do the stained clay, I was just actually checking out how we can get the orange and the pink dye. I think the pink's easy enough to do. We can just use these peony flowers. The orange is a bit trickier. I think we got to generate some rose bushes, and then we need some yellow, which I think is just these dandelions. There should be plenty enough of these scattered around, so I'm just going to go around trying to find as many dandelions as we can, get some of the yellow dye for this. The red and the pink, we can just use these guys and we can just do some bone meal on them. It's pretty simple to get this, so let's go around looking for these dandelions. I am so glad that Elytra and these firework rockets exist, because this is the easiest way to find these dandelions. You just fly around and you just have a look around for little yellow patches on the ground. When you do find them, there tends to be a ton in one area, so definitely gonna get all of the yellow dye we need in no time at all. Do you know, I feel a bit of a fool now planting all those spruce saplings, because apparently this is right next to the kingdom and I didn't even know this was here. But yeah, we have enough spruce wood here to easily last the entire season. So I don't think we're going to be planting any more saplings anymore. We're just going to come here. I think the kingdom is literally just behind that mountain. Well, I think we just struck gold regarding the yellow dye. I mean, there's a ton of yellow plants here. This is certainly going to last us quite some time. And it's not just that, we have a ton of the other flowers as well. I think I see some orange tulips as well, so we could actually get some of that. But yeah, I mean, oh, hello. You missed me. What a waste of potions. Oh no! I didn't even know you could do this, but apparently you can bone meal these sunflowers and you just get a ton more sunflowers. So we basically could just get unlimited yellow dye. I didn't know you could do this. Why did nobody tell me? So I've just popped into MC Edit to do a block count of basically everything we're gonna need in the windmill. And yeah, it turns out we're gonna need a lot more than I first thought. I mean, we're gonna need 676 wool. I think for the stained clay, we're gonna need 964 white stained clay, 588 orange, 144 pink, and 532 gray. So that's almost 2,000 stained clay, and I basically took everything that we have in the creeper castle, and we don't have nearly enough. I mean, I managed to get enough for the orange. We just have a tiny bit of the white, tiny bit of the pink. We're gonna need to do another trip to the mesa to gather all those resources, so I think that's gonna take quite some time. For the wool, at the moment we just have over a stack, and we're gonna need, 676. This is gonna take a long time as well, because we're gonna have to, maybe breed up a few more of these guys and hopefully spend some time getting the wool. So I think I'm gonna do all this gathering off camera. We may as well break into the time lapse now. Just before we do though, I need to discuss something pretty important with the time lapse. And it's to do with how I'm gonna manage these time lapses, this one and probably the ones in the future. Now, so far, all the time lapses we've done have been in the kingdom. We've just recorded them with my second account, and that's been that. We've just built it and recorded it, and everything was all good. Now, when we did the prison time-lapse, it was actually a little different because being an epic time-lapse and being quite a bigger build, it was very difficult to record it because we're doing it in survival. I tend to record without any armor on just because I think it looks nicer to be able to see, Eli the character, to be able to see him building. If I just had a pile of diamond armor on, you don't get any of that personalization, so I just think this is better. But then you're also being attacked by zombies and creepers with no armor. There was a couple times I died while I was recording the prison time lapse, and I had to quickly spawn, run back in, all in the middle of recording, and you can't just stop recording and continue again because the time of day would change and it messes things up. So basically it was really difficult to do. And also with having to do it in survival, we're building these dirt scaffolding the whole time, and it was a bit tricky because a lot of time in the camera you actually see this dirt scaffolding in the way of what you're trying to build. So it kind of subtracts from the quality of the time lapse, and it was something I wasn't really happy with. So basically in today's time lapse, what I've decided is we're gonna do it in creative world. We're gonna copy this world into a creative world, and we're just gonna build everything in creative. And what that means is we're not gonna have any dirt scaffolding. We can just fly around. We can build it with ease. There's not gonna be any zombies or creepers attacking us, and it should just make for a better quality time lapse. Now, it was a decision I didn't come to lightly because obviously this is a survival world, so I did have to give it quite some thought. And I think my original plan was that we would come back into the kingdom afterwards. I would probably just build it off camera in survival, and that would be that. But I'm not going to do that. Now, I've already built it once in the testing world. I have built it a second time in the time lapse. It's taken a long, long time. If I was to build it again in the kingdom in survival, that would take about 4 or 5 hours just to do. I don't have that amount of time. And to be honest, that's the kind of time that I want to spend creating really good content. And, my goal of the channel is to be entertaining. I think that's the first thing I want to do, is just provide really good content and be entertaining. And if I'm spending all of my time, building things off camera just to stick to the rules, then it's going to subtract from everything. So what we're going to do instead is we're just going to MC edit the windmill into the kingdom, and then we do have all the resources that we've gathered. So I think what we'll do is we'll actually just destroy this chest when we put everything in. And that way, we are kind of being true to survival. We're not creating any new blocks. We're maintaining the balance of the universe. We're not creating any energy or losing any energy. So I think that's probably the best thing to do. And it's probably the best for time management as well. That way I can do the most amount of content for you guys I can deliver, and I'm not wasting too much time doing silly little rule things off camera. I don't know how you guys feel about this, so do let me know if you think that's going to be an issue, because I know it's not typically survival Minecraft if you do that, but this is a single player world. There are various advantages to playing on a single player compared to a server, because you obviously couldn't do this on a server. So by doing this, I can kind of maximize the quality of my videos and minimize the time it takes to do this. Let me know what you guys think. I would really love your feedback on that. But yeah, the time lapse we're gonna have is, I'm really proud of it. It took quite some time to do, but I think it came out really well. And I really do hope you guys enjoy this. Sit back, relax, grab some popcorn, and enjoy. So, what did you guys think? I think it came out really well. I'm very happy with it. And hopefully by now you can understand why I chose to do it in a creative world, because you really do just get that extra flexibility of doing it in creative. You can really deliver on that quality. And yeah, presumably by now you've also figured out that I am a massive Zelda fan. I really love the whole Zelda series. I've been playing a lot of Breath of the Wild lately, so it's probably what inspired me to make this time lapse. And of course the music in that time lapse was the Song of Storms from Ocarina of Time. If you know the game history, you'll know that the Song of Storms is played, I can't remember exactly what happens, but you play it in a windmill and it causes the windmill to start going really fast. And I think it unlocks some kind of secret. I don't remember what happens, but I wanted to create a time lapse which was hello. I wanted to create a time lapse which was hello, which was very similar to the game where we could actually create this rotating windmill. And I figured that would be really cliche as well, because obviously things don't rotate in Minecraft. It would be impossible to have an actual functioning windmill. So I wanted to try and figure out the special effects of how to get that to work, and I think it looked really good. It looked really believable. So do let me know in the comment section what you think, if you really enjoyed that. The actual style of this windmill, I looked on the YouTubes for inspiration, and the kind of the best style I liked was the design by Grian. He did something very similar. I actually took his design and I tweaked it a bit to make it my own. He starts off with this circular stone base and it transitions to a rectangular top half. I think it looks really nice. And then he uses the cross shape, the sails at the top. I did the same, except I just wanted to streamline it a bit. So we have these really cool flicks at the end. It looks like something that would be designed by Boeing. So yeah, if this was a windmill built in the 21st century, it would probably look something like this. But I do think it came out really well, and I really do hope that you guys enjoyed that time lapse. It took so long to make, so I really would appreciate your feedback, your comments. If you want to like the video, I will put a link in the top right of the screen if you want to see the full time lapse again in a separate video. Please do like, comment, share it with your friends, whatever you want to do. It would really help out my channel, so I would appreciate that. And yeah, I think we're going to leave this to the next episode, but we need to pop a villager inside here. The villager is just going to go around plucking all of this wheat out, and then we're going to have some kind of minecart underneath, which is going to collect all that wheat, and I think we'll have to extend the sewer line here as well. The sewer line is going to have to come all the way from over here down under here, and allow all of our items to be sent either into our storage castle or over to the prison. But unfortunately, that is all we have time for this episode. It has taken quite some time to get this out, but hopefully it was worth the wait, and I really do appreciate you guys' support and waiting around for this. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I really do hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, please leave it a like. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. I've been Eli, thanks for watching.